the Republican minority just mounted a partisan filibuster against an independent commission to report on January 6th. Both efforts should have moved forward in a solidly bipartisan way. But out of fear or fealty to Donald Trump, the Republican minority just prevented the American people from getting the full truth about January 6th. The Republican minority just prevented the Senate from even debating the bill. No opportunity for amendments, no opportunity for debate. There was an attempt by the Republican minority to shunt this vote into the dark of night. But because of today's Senate time agreement, it was done in broad daylight. The American people will see how each Republican senator.
Scott Lucas is a professor of international politics at Birmingham University. He joins us now from the UK, far enough away, Scott, from the fray to look at this with a more neutral eye. And that's the problem here, right? When one party is in power, what's good for them is then not good for the next party to take over. I mean, when you look at the Benghazi investigations in the United States, after people were killed in attacks on diplomatic facilities in Benghazi, Libya in 2012, there were six Republican-led investigations in congressional committees, 10 investigations of that in total. And now here we have the Republican Party in Congress blocking an investigation into an attack on the U.S. Capitol.
Well, I think you raised the good general point, which is first, when you have an attempted coup in your country, and that's what this was, an attempted coup by Trump supporters, whipped up by Donald Trump, so he didn't have to leave office. When you have an event like 9/11, when you have an event like the killing of the Americans in the consulate in Benghazi in Libya, you need to investigate it. You need to investigate it not to lay blame, but to make sure that there is accountability and that it cannot happen again. But I think I'd go a bit further than you with a second point, and that is this isn't just simply Republicans versus Democrats in opposing this commission. This is now Trumpists who have in effect taken over the Republican Party or have scared many Republicans into capitulation. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, immediately after the Capitol attack, although he prevented Donald Trump from being convicted on impeachment charges, said, look, this mob was provoked by lies. He said, look, the courts should pursue criminal investigations. Yet it's the same Senate Republican leader, Mitch McConnell, who yesterday not only opposes this bill, he commands all other Republicans, you must oppose this as well. Why? Why, Senator, if you believe that there needs to be an attempt for accountability? The only answer is that either because he and other leaders are alongside Donald Trump or have caved into him, this is now the Trumpist party as much as the Republican Party.
Right, and as you mentioned, this being an attack on really democracy itself in the United States, this coup attempt, if that's what you want to call it, this goes so far beyond any other partisan squabble in the United States before. This issue is different. And you could also say, could you not, that beyond the casualty of this particular investigation, the larger casualty is trust in government. Again, people not knowing anymore what is real and what is politics if every investigation is simply called politically motivated.
I think you saw that graphically last night when Donald Trump, who still can't get onto Twitter, resorted to a statement from his Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida and said, people are beginning to understand. In other words, he was using the Republican blocking of the commission to repeat again the lie that the election had been stolen. And as much as you and I and others can analyze this beyond party, beyond faction, and say, no, it was a legitimate election, Trump keeps putting that poison out into the American mainstream. But again, I think it's too easy to go back and look at Donald Trump and to blame him. Donald Trump has accomplices. He's being enabled. They're not only in Congress, there are some in the American media who are enabling Donald Trump. And the Wall Street Journal today has an editorial which tries to get him off the hook over the election lie. For decades, American politics has been polarized. It didn't start in 2017, but it is being continued after 2017. And as someone who still, although you know I'm thousands of miles away, still am attached to the country, When do we get beyond this polarization? When do we get beyond this Trumpist call that it's us versus them and realize that it should be all Americans trying to repair that system?
Scott, I appreciate it. Thank you.